Hey all, so I just recorded that video of user versus system prompt, and I kind of alluded to like dynamic prompting, where the agent could pull in a prompt and that prompt could be edited so that every time this agent runs, it's going to be pulling the most recent prompt, whatever is in the, for example, in this case, we're going to use Airtable. And so I just wanted to show like what that would look like and what I meant by that. So in here we have, we're looking for connected chat trigger because we're just going to keep this as the input. So as you can see, I say hello, and it's going to respond with hello. And we just talked about the difference between the user and the system message, and right now all this says is you are a helpful assistant. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to try something out, right? So I'm going to copy this in, and I'm going to an Airtable base, called contacts. It's just a testing one. I have a table called prompts, and then we have a workbench agent, which is what I'm working in right here. And I'm going to paste in this prompt, which is you are a helpful assistant. Always tell jokes, and your name is Jane. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's what we're going with. So that's the prompt that we have in here, right? So the idea is, well, there's multiple ways this could be useful. One is just like if you have, a ton of different agents you're working with, and you don't want to get in there and then you could quickly make a tweak in this prompt. Or if this could kind of be the front end for a client that you're giving an agent, and if they don't want to go into end-to-end and look at the different system messages and worry about messing something up, they got to edit the prompt here. Maybe you change the prompt based on, you could get really creative. It could be like if you want to change the role of the agent dynamically based on different incoming data, you could have an agent actually filter out data, take action, which would be calling this Airtable table, changing the prompt itself, and then feeding that to the agent whose prompt is here. So maybe I shouldn't have said all that because it might have just made it more confusing, but let's take a look at an example here. So here's the prompt, right? And so the idea here is that it's going to be pulling in the prompt dynamically every run. So before it feeds into the agent, we want to pull that Airtable cell. So I'm going to do an Airtable node. We're going to do a get or a record. We're going to look in my base, which is called contacts. We're going to look in the table called prompts. And now we need a record ID. So in this case, because we know that this is a workbench agent, we're actually able to just take this record ID. If you wanted this to be a little more dynamic, you'd have to get a little more creative. But what I can do is, let's see if I expand this record. Now I have a record ID, which I believe is right here. Rec MB, yep. So that's the record ID. I can pull that in. And if I just say get prompt, right there, I can test the step. And now we have, right here, you can see the ID of the record, the created time, the agent, and the prompt. And so super simple now. All I have to do is change this system message to an expression, pull in the prompt down here, and now I have you are a helpful assistant. Always tell jokes. Your name is Jane. And so this is going to change every time, right? So, although one thing to keep in mind here, this is now looking for the connected chat trigger node, and it's not going to work because it's not immediately beforehand, because it's looking for JSON.chat input. We know that if you are referencing $JSON, it's going to look for whatever is immediately before you. I don't know why I said you, immediately before it. And that is now no longer the chat trigger node. So all we have to do here is change this to define below. And then from the chat input, we're going to drag in chat input, which is going to be the node it's defining is when chat message received, .item.json.chat input. And you can see they're both green, so we're good to go. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to chat with it. I'm going to say, hi, I am having a bad day, and see what we get. So it ran through the prompt. It fed that in here. As you can see, your helpful assistant, always tell jokes. Your name is Jane. And then the user message was, hi, I'm having a bad day. So what we got in the actual output was, hi there, I'm sorry to hear you're having a bad day. I'm Jane, and I'm here to cheer you up a little. First, here's a joke. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. We've heard that joke so many times. I hope that I brought a smile to your face. Is there anything I can do to help you turn your day around? Maybe tell you another joke, listen to what's bothering you, or offer you some words of encouragement. Okay, so now what we're going to do is come in here and change the prompt in Airtable. We're going to say, you are not friendly, and you use lots of emojis. Okay, so that's the new prompt. I'm just going to repeat the exact same message. So we'll send that off. And now we're going to get completely different, as you can see. I'm sorry to hear that your day is not going well. Is there anything specific that happened? Maybe I can offer some advice or just listen. Okay, so that was a horrible example on my part. As you can see, it did update. It's now longer. Now the system prompt is you're not friendly and you use lots of emojis. AIs don't like to be not friendly. Don't know why I did that. But as you can see, it added emojis. And the point is that in here on this execution, the system prompt was different. So what's cool about this is that it doesn't have to be the whole system prompt, right? Like you can have your own prompt in here. You can say, overview, like this is what you do. You can say, tools, this is what you do. And then you can say maybe something like, you just want the client to be able to control like the persona. So you'd have persona, and then that's where you'd put your dynamic prompt. So you're still going to be getting this as the base prompt every time, as far as your overview, your tools, your outputs, whatever. But then you could have like someone in this Airtable in this super friendly interface, nothing technical to look at all besides a relational table. This is where they're defining this kind of stuff. So we would say, let's try like use all capital letters in your responses, and be super, the shadow is looking weird on my face. Yeah, as if that did anything. Use all capital letters in your responses and be super funny. Okay, so there we go. Once again, I'm just going to send off that exact same thing. Hi, I'm having a bad day. Hey there, I'm sorry to hear you're having a bad day. I hope it gets better. Is there anything I can do to help? So that looks funny with in all caps. Anyways, yeah. So as you can see, the only thing that changed was, oh, interesting. So we don't actually get the full, we didn't get the full record back. And I'm wondering if it's just simply because I sent this off too quick. Let's try again. Or why that got cut off. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, I think Airtable just didn't update quick enough, which is really interesting. But anyways, we'll buckle up, Buttercup. I'm here to turn that frown upside down, or at least sideways, depending on how flexible your face is. Tell me what's got your goat, and I'll do my best to sprinkle some comic relief on it. After all, a day without laughter is like a cake without frosting, pointless and sad. Okay, cool. So, honestly, that video was more entertaining than educational, probably. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.